trade with Detroit. They gave up Trey Sweeney, who they acquired for Victor Gonzalez in the offseason from the Yankees. Trey Sweeney's a really good defensive shortstop, but the bat is not up to par with that.
But you can hear him on Sportsnet LA, AM 570 LA, the whole deal. He's the host of Dodger Talk. David, great to have you on. How you doing? How you feeling post-deadline about this Dodgers team?
I feel a lot better than I did before they were able to land Jack Flaherty. I feel like that's what makes this a win for the Dodgers, because if you spoke to anybody around the team, if you asked them if you could only have one thing before 3 o'clock Pacific yesterday, what would it be? And they would tell you another starting pitcher that could start game 2, game 3 of a playoff series. And Jack Flaherty is that guy. And it's interesting for Jack because he is coming home from Harvard Westlake High School in the Great 1-8. That's the area I'm from too. So we've got another 818 guy on the team. But if you think back to last year, he was in a similar situation when he was acquired by the Orioles to be this type of guy the Dodgers are hoping for, and it didn't really go as well as planned. So maybe he learned something from that, and hopefully coming back home will continue to give him the momentum that he started in Detroit.
All right, so I have to ask, first of all, those curtains behind you are strong. I don't know where you are, but those are some strong curtains you have.
I'm in San Diego, AJ. I can only go where they put me. You know, this is where I'm at.
Okay, I mean those are some. I was like, are you seeing medieval times, like with those curtains behind?
Yeah,
you?
baby, come on, let's go.
You're on the blue team. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. It's a presence.
All right, I got to ask. I know you said that. Listen, the Dodgers they gave that game away last night, and I know you said a starting pitcher is the thing, but do they need more bullpen help, or can they find more bullpen help? Because their bullpen the last couple weeks has been floundering. To be kind of nice about it.
Yeah, no doubt, AJ. I even asked that question on the show a couple of weeks ago. Do the Dodgers need a closer? And Carlos Estevez was out there, Tanner Scott was out there, but you saw how much the Phillies and Padres had to give up for those two guys, and that's not really Andrew Friedman's style as far as paying that much, whether it's in salary or prospect capital to acquire a closer. They've got guys on this team that are very capable. I would take Blake Trinan 9 times out of 10. He's been so nasty this year and had not given up a run in the month of July until he gave up that walk-off home run to Bregman. And yesterday, same thing. He just didn't get that pitch where he wanted it to be against Machado. And when the Dodgers acquired him from Oakland, he was coming in as one of the best closers in the American League at that point in time. So if Evan Phillips cannot get back to that role, they've got 3 guys that potentially can do it. Daniel Hudson was the last man standing in 2019 for the Nationals. They got Trinan, Evan Phillips, and Brusdar Graterol on the way back. So they do have in-house options. They just got to get these guys to pitch better.
Are they a team? Are they a World Series team that is hoping too much? Because all I hear all year is the Dodgers, they do the whole $1.3 billion offseason. And then it's like, we just can't wait for Kershaw to get back. We can't wait. We hope Buehler gets back. Oh, it's unbelievable. Evan Phillips is going to be back. Are they hoping too much as a World Series contending team?
That's a great question. I'm not sure they were using hope and change as far as what they were thinking about this year. They were just looking as far as depth and their options as far as potential guys to help them down the stretch. And I'm not sure they ever fully counted on Walker Buehler. He's coming off second Tommy John surgery. Obviously, it hasn't gone as smooth as he or the team would like. What really has kind of thrown the Dodgers' plans off track is the regression of 2 guys in Bobby Miller and James Outman. Those 2 guys going backwards kind of hurt their offseason planning for what this was going to look like. And that's why they had to go out and get a guy like Jack Flaherty, because they were counting on Bobby Miller to take the next step. And they're very fortunate that Gavin Stone has taken the next step. He has been one of the most reliable starters for the Dodgers this season.
Well, I have to ask, where are we at in injury updates here? Yamamoto hasn't pitched in a while. Buehler is out, with the hip thing.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. Well, as Scott said, sure.
Well,
Whatever.
working on things.
Yeah, his hip. Where are we at with some of these injuries? Mookie, where's he at coming back? I mean, we talk about hope and all this, but are they just taking the pressure off like Yamamoto and Buehler and then hoping to ramp them up in September and saying, all right, here we go, boys. It's playoff time. Let's throw everyone out there now.
I actually saw Yamamoto long toss on the last homestand from probably right center field all the way to the left field foul pole, AJ. So that tells me his shoulder is feeling pretty good to be able to do that. And he's going to throw a bullpen session at Dodger Stadium on Friday while the team is starting a series in Oakland. So we'll see how it comes out of that bullpen because long tossing is one thing. Getting off the mound, as you guys know, is a lot different. So that bullpen session on Friday will tell the Dodgers a lot about the outlook for Yamamoto. Mookie Betts is trending in a great direction, according to Dave Roberts. He told us yesterday that Mookie's swinging the bat, he's taking ground balls, and he actually has greater grip strength in the hand that he broke than he does in the one that he did not break. In the left hand, he has greater grip strength now than his right hand. So that's really encouraging. And I'm making a bold prediction here. Mookie Betts comes back before weekly guest Max Muncy on this show.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. But if his right hand is weaker now, doesn't he need to build his right hand up? Does he need to go on rehab for his right hand? Because this was like kind of notwithstanding Mookie Betts, that was a joke. But this was kind of the plan anyway. When they built this rotation, they knew they weren't going to get all their starts out of Kershaw because he was coming back. They knew Buehler wasn't going to get all his starts. Glass, now we had him on our show at the All-Star game. He kind of admitted that he could have pitched through this, but because of where they're at, Yamamoto had never thrown more than 160 innings, so he was going to go in the IL. So when you said about Gavin Stone had to step up, Bobby Miller had to step up, they were always going to be in the market for a starting pitcher at the trade deadline. And is that the way that the Dodgers are going to move from here on out? Or are they hoping that they can find, like I said, the word hope again, a starting pitcher that can solidify it? Because the same thing is going to happen next year with Shohei when he comes back.
Right. These are their guys, right, Eric? At this point, there's nobody else to get. The trade deadline's over. I mean, Rich Hill is out there throwing bullpen sessions somewhere in Massachusetts. He's not a guy that's going to really impact the rotation if they decided to sign him. So these are their guys. It's Glass now. It's Gavin Stone. It's now Jack Flaherty and Kershaw. These are their guys. And look, you can go all the way back to the offseason. Blake Snell was out there to be had. When they started spring training, they could have had Blake Snell right now at a very cost-effective price tag. But Yamamoto getting hurt 2 months into his major league career, that's hindsight. That's 2020. Obviously, the workload was going to be different for him in Major League Baseball, but how could anybody have predicted him going down just 2 months into his major league season?
True. You're right. True. But the javelin, he's got to get back to the javelin, okay? Let's not forget the javelin. All right, so I have to ask this. What?
It's a dart.
Dart. Lawn dart. What? They made a trade for two, obviously Flaherty, but then they went and got Kopech and Tommy Edman. Edman hadn't played this year. I'm going to use your keyword, hope, for Tommy Edman. And then what's their hope for Michael Kopech's role to be in the bullpen?
Yeah, Kopech was available yesterday, and they didn't use him. Connor McGinnis, who is the best kept secret in baseball, in my opinion, as far as being a pitching coach that impacts guys in a positive way, he's going to have to work his magic to get Kopech to throw more strikes. And it seems like they feel they're confident they can do that. As far as Tommy Edman goes, I talked to a source with the Cardinals before the Dodgers traded for him. They were expecting Tommy Edman to come back within the next 10 days, so he's not that far off. And his role is going to be play center field, spot start at second or shortstop, but for the most part, he's going to be the solution in center field because the defense in center field has not been that great. Andy Pages has done a valiant job of filling in there the majority of the season, but if you look at defensive runs saved, he's at the bottom of all center fielders. So they needed to shore up the defense out there. They do that with Tommy Edman, and obviously you guys know they brought in Kevin Kiermaier. So between those two guys, the defense gets significantly better up the middle.
Yeah.
And Tommy Edman's a contact hitter. The Dodgers have had a lot of swing and miss in the bottom third of their order. Last night they struck out 13 times. They've struck out 52 times in their last 4 games. Tommy Edman is a guy that they need to put the ball in play because they have a lot of type of those guys where it's a lot of slug and not a lot of contact.
Are they in a better spot with the bottom of their lineup, or will they be in a better spot, right? You don't want to get to the playoffs and be like, I don't really know about that bottom of the lineup. Like the important things stand out in the postseason. Do you have, about 4 guys in the bullpen that you really trust over and over in high leverage? And is there enough length in the lineup where you don't have to just rely on a couple superstars because they're not going to come up in the big spot every time?
Yeah, Tommy Edman helps that, Scott. And Gavin Lux, since the All-Star break, has been on fire. We're seeing Gavin Lux before the right knee, leg, Achilles injury. He won Player of the Week coming out of the All-Star break. He hasn't slowed down a bit. And he told me part of the reason why was not only did he get a mental break, but he got a physical break. And when he went back to Wisconsin, he worked with his Uncle Schmidt back there in Wisconsin, and he really reinforced some of the principles that they've worked with all his entire life. And I guess the biggest one is pretty simple, staying connected to the ground. So he said working with his uncle during the All-Star break helped him get back on track, and we've seen the results. So now you got Gavin Lux swinging the bat really well. You bring in a contact hitter like Tommy Edman. Mookie Betts comes back. Max Muncy comes back. All of a sudden now the lineup is a lot longer.
True. I don't know if you know this or not, but it's really hard to hit if you're not connected to the ground. It's really hard to hit if your both feet are in the air. You're not going to have much power.
Well, I've seen some guys where their back foot is up in the air, AJ. You might be
but their
surprised
front
by
foot
that.
is still locked in. But if you have both your feet off the ground, you're not connected, and it's really hard to hit.
That would be incredible if somebody could do that.
I'm sure
Exactly.
Jose Altuve's done it.
True. He tried to jump for a ball and hit it. All right, so I have to ask, as a White Sox guy, what did the White Sox get in Vargas? Can he be an impact player for them? Because I know the Dodgers, they kind of, I guess, lost faith in him a little bit, but can he be an impact player for the White Sox?
The biggest thing for Vargas, AJ, is that he's going to get regular at-bats. He's going to be in the big leagues getting regular at-bats. There wasn't that opportunity with the Dodgers. And the White Sox hopefully will find a position for him and just leave him there. The Dodgers were having a hard time finding a position for him. Remember last year, he was their starting second baseman. Then coming into this year, they had him out in left field. And when Max Muncy's return has been delayed, he was taking ground balls at third base. So the biggest thing for the White Sox to get the most out of Miguel Vargas is to finding a position and leaving him there. He can hit, and a change of scenery certainly will help him, and getting regular at-bats is going to help him have the best opportunity to flourish.
David, did the Dodgers fleece teams? I mean, I'll include this, but just any of their deals in general, like, is anything really going to bite them in your mind from what they just did? Because the talk is Andrew Fleeceman, that's part of one of the nicknames that you see out there in socials, right? Where there were some teams that did really well, and you gave up prospects, but did you give up anything that you really think is going to turn into a star player or even like an above average regular in the big leagues?
Well, the Jarrell Perez kid they gave up to the White Sox, a lot of people believe that he has the potential of being a really good big leaguer down the road, speed, a little bit of power. And in the trade with Detroit, they gave up Trey Sweeney, who they acquired for Victor Gonzalez in the offseason from the Yankees. Trey Sweeney's a really good defensive shortstop, but the bat is not up to par with that. The one guy that they did give up that many believe can be a really good big league hitter is Thyron Liriano. And he's a guy that, is a catcher right now, but not a lot of evaluators that have scouted him in the minor leagues believe that that's his position. So maybe he's a Carlos Santana type of where he was the catcher in the minor leagues, but turns out to be a first baseman or DH. So those two guys have potential.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, gives hope to some of the other teams that make deals with the Dodgers and say, is this the team we should be trading with, or do they keep the prospects they're supposed to keep? J.J. Cooper went against me yesterday.
They have Will Smith.
Yeah.
They have Will Smith for 9 more years, so a lot of these catchers in their organization, they're kind of blocked.
Right, and who's the next bet? Dalton Rushing?
Dalton Rushing, yep. He's the next big thing.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if he is the next big thing, what the heck are they doing with everyone else?
Get rid of him. You trade him. That's what you do. You're playing for 29 other teams. You're not playing for just your team.
Right.
They tell you that all the time. By the way, do you work with Karos at all?
Yeah, of course. And
I'm
his
sorry.
hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, and his hair. Yeah, I'm so sorry for you. And I'm just so sorry for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard so many Mike Piazza stories. I think I'm sure.
Just don't sit next to him because all he does is eat cookies and snacks. People don't understand how many sweets this guy eats.
And then he's a hall monitor with me, AJ. Whenever I'm in the plane looking for some snacks, he's always got his eyes on me. I can't make a move without this guy like second guessing everything I do.
Yeah, right? But he'll eat 18 cookies during a game. Just sit there and every break. Cake,
always
ice cream.
Sweets?
Always sweets. It's unbelievable. But then he'll go work out for 3 hours.
Wow. That's the beauty of
And
being
golf.
a retired big leaguer.
And golf, too.
And golf.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, David, this was awesome. Thank you for joining us. Great to catch up again and enjoy the rest of the ride here with the Dodgers.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. It was fun.
Yeah. Appreciate it. At the real_DV, if you want to give him a follow too, we'll post some of these clips, of course, as we always do. Dodgers Territory covers this team on Thursdays on YouTube. If you want to go check out the DT YouTube channel, they did a little surprise show yesterday after the Flaherty move. Might notice a familiar face on there who doesn't sound like Alana.
Hey FT fam, it's Alana Rizzo. I can't stop talking about Vuori. Vuori is perfect if you are sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. I wear Vuori in all settings, not just in the gym, because honestly, it's comfier than whatever you're currently wearing. No joke. I'm wearing Vuori daily leggings right now. They're high-waisted with the drawstring and cuffed ankles. They look good and they feel great. You're going to love them. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/foul. That's VUORI.com/foul. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/foul and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.